Hello everyone, James from Junkyard Fox. Thank you so much for joining me, and today we have an exciting review on some Exotac fire ignition products. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started. Okay, so I've been using these products since about December, so that's almost a year, and I've really come to really enjoy them. Some of them have become part of my everyday carry. I'm sure you've seen things such as this Exotac TitanLIGHT. This is my go-to lighter, my #1 source of ignition now. I've calmed down with the ferro rod and the flint and steel, and this just makes it so much easier. Of course, it's always good to know your other forms of ignition, have backups, but this one has just become just a mainstay in my kit, as well as more subtle things such as these Tinder Zips. These you can place on your zipper from your coat, your haversack, your backpack, stuff like that, and during harsh conditions you open this up, and on the inside it just helps you light up a fire. It just makes it easier. So we're going to take a look at one at a time of these items, and I'll elaborate on them. Okay, so the first one is the Tinder Tin. Now this one contains fatwood shavings. Now I know some people are going to roll their eyes and they're going to say, what do you need fatwood shavings? You just go outside and get some. Well, keep in mind, pine isn't always found, very easily. I understand, if you're in the eastern woodlands or stuff like that, it's going to be easy for you. You wouldn't need to buy this. Me, on the other hand, I live in the desert, so pine is a little harder to come by. So this really helps me out. It doesn't take up that much space in your kit, and you have a good amount of tinder shavings. So once again, during hard conditions, everything's wet, like in the scenario we just showed, this really helps you out. And of course, this little tin can always be reused. So say you are camping somewhere where you can put stuff like pine pitch or stuff like that, or even make char cloth with it. And yeah, this stuff I really enjoy. Got to be careful with that. I don't want to burn my hand here. Look at that. Beautiful. Really good stuff, and it's only $5.95, and once again you get to keep this tin, reuse it over and over, and I like this. Once again, in my area, tin is not easy to come by. I have to travel about 3 hours away from home to start getting to places where there is pine pitch and wood, that kind of stuff, all the resinous woods, pine, that stuff. So this to me I think is really cool. Once again, not necessarily for everybody, but if you it doesn't hurt to have something like this in your emergency bag, your fire kit, your haversack. Really cool little stuff right here. Next up are the Exotac Tinder Zips. Now I love these. They come in sets of about 5, I believe. I've ordered some extra ones because I've used them before throughout the year. But what I love about these, 1, they're high visibility, 2, they're pretty cheap, and 3, you can place these anywhere as long as you have a zipper on your coat, on your backpack, something like that, bug out bag. And these you can just put away. You forget that they're there. They're lightweight, obviously, and you're able to get a fire during rough conditions. So the innard is flammable, and it can burn up to 60 seconds. So yeah, let me just demonstrate. Let me just cut this open. And you want to expose the inner fibers. Now I'm being careful not to I don't want to cut on the floor because I don't want to ding my knife up. But check out all these inner fibers. This is the stuff right here. So you're a hiker, you're a backpacker, and something went wrong, you're caught in a rainstorm, you need a fire, something like that. Dry yourself off, as we tried to demonstrate on the scenario, and this will help you out because it's always there. And it'll burn up to 60 seconds. Look at that, beautiful. Once again, I just showed you a little section of it. You can open the entire thing and it'll last a lot longer. It'll burn a lot longer than what I just did. I'm just hurrying it up because we're short on time. But if you notice, this thing is still burning. So I think that's really cool. It's still burning. That's impressive. Next up, guys, is one of my favorite products. This is called the Exotac FireSleeve. Now, Bic lighters are just found just about anywhere, any gas station, convenience store, grocery store, and they're pretty reliable. They're pretty good. They're cheap. Now, this just makes your Bic lighter just a whole lot better because this protects it from the elements, especially water. It's going to make it waterproof. It's going to allow it to float. I like the orange for high visibility. If you're not the kind of guy that likes bright colors, you can have a different, an all-black version. I like this. Once again, I like the high visibility. And this thing is just going to help your lighter, once again, with the elements, particularly with the water. And it gives it a rubbery grip, so it's easier to hold on to during rough conditions. And I'm going to drop it in here. You're going to see that you're still going to be able to work it, and it floats. Look at that. I slipped off a canoe, I'm fishing, something like that. I've had one too many tall boys while I'm fishing and I fell off and all my gear comes down. I can find this. And get a fire started. So, I dig this. Next is the Exotac TitanLIGHT, and now this is easily probably everybody's favorite item from Exotac. This thing is a beauty. It's a little tank of a lighter, something like a Zippo. You go ahead and put the lighter fluid underneath. You open this bad boy up, and it's pretty strong. It's pretty rugged. It's an awesome little lighter, and it is waterproof up to 1 meter. You guys, once again, if you've been watching Junkyard Fox videos for this last year, you've seen it several times. And it's actually changed the way I set up my EDC because now I carry this all the time instead of a very mini Bic lighter. And it's become my #1 source of ignition. It just makes things so easier. I still have, of course, a ferro rod and magnifying glass and several forms of ignition, but this is just always riding on my pocket every day now. And it's really awesome. Now, this thing is waterproof to up to 1 meter. And there's an attachment up here for lanyard, paracord, or a key ring, the way I have it, in case sometimes I attach it on a carabiner to my keys. Okay, now it uses lighter fluid once again, and you can change out the flint. That's one thing I had to replace because I've used it so much. And once again, keep in mind that this thing is made in the USA, and there's different colors. If you don't want this color, you want something more, you know, an olive green or whatever the case may be, you can get them. Once again, being a fire item, I like the bright color. I think it's really cool. And I've used this when I'm winter camping during snow, hailstorms, stuff like that, windy conditions in the desert, and I've used this and I really, really love it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and dunk it in the water so you can see. Okay, so switching it up to first person mode, once again, we're going to throw this TitanLIGHT lighter into the water. Now, this isn't particularly deep, of course. This probably goes down probably like a foot, but still it counts, you know, realistic in case you fell. Let's throw it in a little deeper. Now, this one does not float. Unlike the FireSleeve, this one doesn't float, but there it is. So let's check it out. Just dry out the outside. Beautiful. And you'd be surprised how many times I've gotten compliments on this lighter. I could be at a barbecue at a friend's house, or I'm gonna light someone's cigarette, stuff like that at work, and I always get a compliment, you know, that this lighter is very handsome and it looks really cool. So I'll tell them a little bit about it. So it's something of a conversation piece for me, and really cool. I really dig it. I mean, it's just built really well. It's really nice to add to your EDC collection. Okay, guys, so that's about the conclusion of this video, guys. I just wanted to show you guys these items. I've been using them since December. That's almost a year. and that has given me plenty of time and experience with them, from camping in the snow in the New Mexico mountains in January to the summer camping amongst hailstorms and monsoon season, that kind of stuff. And I've really been impressed, honestly. Now, Exotac is an American company. Everything here is made in the USA, so you'd be supporting small business, and I can always get behind that. And I like versatility, I like imagination, and it makes you wonder how come some more people haven't thought of this stuff. For example, I'm really impressed by these Tinder Zips, because to be honest, when I received all these things, these don't seem that interesting. They kind of look a little boring compared to something like the slider. However, I've come to really enjoy these. I have them in all my coats. Even in the scenario that you saw earlier, the character had it in his little boonie hat. So I think that's really cool, and you'll be glad you have it whenever you need it. And then things like this has turned a Bic lighter into something a lot more bomb-proof, something more rugged against the elements. So I like that. And of course the TitanLIGHT that I said is, it's carried on me every single day. So I want to give a big thank you to Exotac, particularly Chris, for sending this to me so long ago, and I apologize, buddy, that it took me so long to make it. I just wanted to make a really cool scenario for it. Unfortunately, living in the desert, storms are pretty rare, and you'd be surprised. Movie magic makes things happen. It makes things look sequential. It actually took months apart, many scenes, and then I just pieced them together and, try to make it work. But yeah, that was pretty difficult, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. So once again, thank you to Exotac. Thank you for all of you watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Have any questions, go ahead and put them down below in the comment section, and we'll see you guys next week with another video. Now go outside and get your boots dirty.